Welcome back to another episode. Welcome.
I believe episode 8.
I believe so.
Episode 8.
Yeah, we need to start putting it on the whiteboard. There's a whiteboard like right behind y'all, and it has like a bunch of nothing on it right now. We need to do that because I'm like, I think we're on episode 8.
I believe we are on episode 8.
Yeah. No, we are. We are on episode. Wait, no. This is 7.
7.
Yeah. Why we double check things?
I'm 1 ahead.
Yeah. Now it's better though because I felt like before like we were like 2 ahead and we're like, oh yeah, no. But yeah, I'm Zach.
I'm Lou.
Welcome to the Appreciation Podcast.
Yes.
Today we're doing Joker.
Yep.
Doing the Joker.
We put our best Joker fits on.
The best Joker indeed.
Got all the makeup and accoutrements on.
Accoutrements. Lewis, if y'all don't know by now, he has some.
If you can't tell from my fancy speak and elevated lexicon,
he has some peak vocabulary as usual.
You know, it's out of the bag. We're doing Victorian Era today.
We're doing Victorian Era today.
We tried to put together our best Victorian Era outfits.
Yeah, without just like spending a bunch of money for the bit on one time.
Yeah, I feel very stiff, which I feel like is for the time.
Yeah, just got to cross our legs. We even put on shoes. I mean, you can't really see them, but put on shoes as well to match the aesthetic.
Because we are gentlemen.
Because we are gentlemen.
We are gentlemen. We are couth.
Yeah, I think
proper.
We're proper. I think this was like one of the first few that we put down, like when we started even talking about a podcast. Like we had Victorian Era.
This was the second or third thing on the list.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's been there since the beginning.
Since the absolute beginning, back in like June.
I don't think we've gotten the first one yet.
Now, which one's the first one?
Country music is the first one.
Oh yeah.
That was the first thing where it's like, we do not like this. Let's try something.
Yeah, I was still surprised that we got battle rap for the first one, but now looking back, I'm like, that's just so. It's very legendary. It's kind of like lore.
Yeah,
that's our lore right there. We just started with that.
We didn't even choose it. I think we just came to agreement of like, what's something else? And we were like, I don't want to sit down and do all this. And then we started talking about awful bars.
Yeah, we did.
Just really bad bars. And then we were like, battle rap.
Battle rap, put that down. And it just came to be from there.
And now the ball's been rolling ever since.
Yeah, it has. It really, really, really has. So with us talking about topics, I wanted to make the point of click down below. Pop up in our forum. You got an idea. You want to see us dress a certain way. When we get Hello Kitty, we're going to go crazy. When we get like Shoujo, we're going to go crazy. When we get Tubi movies, we'll just be looking like 2015 background characters.
Yeah. Well, it'll be fun, but please give us more topics. Give us more ideas.
Yeah.
There's only few things that I feel like for us that are off limits.
Yeah.
We'll come across those bridges when we get there, but the more ideas, the better, because we're gonna be doing this for a very long time.
Of course, yeah. So, if you got any other ideas, you can like DM us on the pod. You can do our socials. I'm gonna try and like edit them here. Be like,
do we have the Google form too?
Yeah, that's what I just mentioned.
It's awesome. The Google form as well.
Yes.
I was like, you said the form. I was like, that's what. Yeah, the Google form as well. So many different ways. Just let us know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just keep in contact with us. We're trying to grow. We have a lot of big dreams that we're trying to work on this year, and as we're approaching the 10th episode, we are in our season 0. Yep. You're on the ground floor with us.
This is the prelude.
This is the prelude to our success. Hopefully by like season 5, we're traveling and doing things. Maybe even earlier, but I feel like 5 is.
I feel like we're we'll get there, because at the same time we've been playing around internally between us with the seasons idea. It's like we don't even know how long a season's gonna be.
Oh yeah,
it's just gonna be like when we feel like, all right, it's time.
Boom.
Big upgrade. We're moving on to something else.
Yeah, I completely agree. Whether that's like background equipment, I'm so ready for a stable like set and just a equipment upgrade. I'm
so we don't have to set it up every time.
Yeah, I literally just had like a 30-minute like fit trying to get this to be level, and I know that it's still not as level. And then we had the lighting, and then we've had to adjust like with our mics. So it's fun, but it's also one of those things of like, all right, I love, grinding from the bottom, but pause on that. But I like starting out humble and then working to something big. And right now I'm in that phase where I'm like, okay, I want to have. We don't have to have the biggest setup right now, but
it's like, hey, can we get to the goal a little bit faster?
Yeah,
Can we fast? I got fast pass on this.
Yeah,
on the grind struggle part.
Yeah, not for real. But before we get into everything, why don't we cue some intro music?
Cue the intro.
Cue the intro.
I stole your catchphrase.
You did. It's okay.
You said it a little bit differently this time. You're feeling more fancy, a little bit more enlightened, I see.
Yeah, a little more. Cue the intro music. Doo-doo. 069. Welcome back. So yeah, today we are talking about Victorian era media.
Yes.
Giving a little bit of history, giving a little bit of societal talk about Victorian era.
And from our talks before, I think that this is gonna be a fun one because we went about it in two different ways.
Yeah, we did.
For me, I went about it in media that we have in the modern day, or even just media about that specific era. Not necessarily from, a couple things from, one thing from, but mostly stuff that's like written, the romanticized stuff about it. Because we have so many period pieces and everything else, and it's like, why is there so much of this?
Yeah, like why is this a thing, right?
Why is it such a popular setting and time period for people to write about?
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
But you looked at it.
Yeah, I looked at it
much differently.
I looked at it very differently, and I appreciate the fact that we both had such different ideas of coming to this, because it'll make it whole. Because we're both like kind of vastly different when we do research, but it just works good. I looked at like history, a lot of like sociological things surrounding what they were going through, the influence that it has on art. I looked at different, artists and the meanings behind their work. A lot of like different morale, whatever you want to say. Yeah, and so a lot of mine was just history. Some of it was expression, and then we also had like a couple. Like we branched into starting this because we made the joke as we were talking about like when we first like put it down, and it's like one of the first things. Like I was like, oh man, are we gonna be watching Bridgerton? So whenever we got it,
both started watching Bridgerton, which, funny enough, isn't fully a part of that era. Yeah. And like the full scope of everything, it's like right before it.
Exactly.
But from all the different things I read, they're like, they either boil Victorian era down to like the 63 years of her reign, of Queen Victoria's reign.
Yeah.
Or like right before it and right after it still. And it's like, all right, well.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I was like, I'm watching Bridgerton and I'm already 4 episodes in when I look up what time period it's in, and I'm like, oh. Okay. Well, I'm already halfway invested.
Yeah.
And I kind of already like the show now.
No, I get that. I felt the same way. So Victorian era is from the life of Queen Victoria, thought to be, right? From June 20th of 1837 to January 22nd, 1901 is also, as Lewis was saying, a little bit before, a little bit after, but I like the tail end of the Industrial Revolution.
Yes, very much centered around the beginning and end of her reign of the UK, the British Empire, growing into the world's first industrial power.
Yeah.
They're not the world's first industrial power anymore, but that's what got them on the main stage. Everyone looking at them all the time.
For sure.
Which tons of things happened during this too. I think that was like one of the interesting things too, of like all the different events where you're like, oh, that was during this?
Yeah.
Where it's like Irish potato famine, the World's Fairs started to go, like the Suez Canal, theory of evolution, eventually the telephone, Jack the Ripper. Like this was all that era. This was all that time. It's like, oh, all right. And then, I mean, it's mainly centered around, like British history, but then at the same time, with stuff that's happening in the world, it's like, oh, this encompasses the American Civil War.
Yeah.
Or even a little bit before this is like War of 1812.
Yeah. Big facts. It's a very big time in life where, it kind of, just from that alone will make sense as to why people are very interested in like telling a story.
Oh, yes.
I have like a lot of the key aspects, as like Lewis was touching on. Social class is usually a big thing talked about in Victorian era, where it's the rigid social hierarchy, the lives of the upper class, the struggles of the working class, and then like the plight of the poor and all the differences in between that, and highlights each one. Gender roles, the expectations of women as homemakers, and limited opportunities for women in society back then. We touched on the Industrial Revolution. Steam engines, sewing machines, gas and electric lights, railways, the telegraph. Funny enough, that just reminds me, I didn't do this for research, but I remember when Assassin's Creed Syndicate came out, and it was like set towards that, and you got to like be there with the telegraph. That was pretty cool. But there's a lot of like factory work, some called urbanization, which is the process of making an area more urban, and technological advancements. So they're like, it's a small town in England, like we're going to make it more urban, right?
Yeah.
Just bring a lot more.
Rather than agriculture being the thing, and, sort of processes that are very much dictated by like, but they're dictated by the weather and all these things outside of your control. It's like, we're going to have these processes of industry that are going to be running constantly 24/7.
Yeah.
Which even another interesting of like an event that happened sort of at the tail end of the Victorian era, when you're talking about like the sort of social classes, a lot of media and stuff does really focus on like the sort of like struggle for like women's liberation, and really just being stuck in these very specific roles of like, oh, you're meant to get married and homemaker. I mean, so much of Bridgerton, from like the character of like Eloise, and even with like Penelope to a degree, struggles with like people just wanting to live their lives versus not wanting to have to be married and into the system. But then right at the tail end of that, you have the foundation of, I think, the Women's Franchise League in 1903, where it's like the first of sort of women's suffrage movement within Britain, within the UK. So it's like, okay, it's very much, I guess, sort of those ideas, which they're still around very much so, but
for sure,
some of those ideas at least coming to an end in some ways of like, oh, you're getting the right to vote, which is cool. But so much happening during this era, so much.
Yeah, no, I agree. They had like a lot of issues with morality, from, they were talking about sexuality, religion, social propriety. I also think it's like, a point of that of like why, I guess, modern day, like it's such a huge thing that we like to make shows or movies, and like, we read books about it, and people are constantly placing that environment as their world building when it comes to stories and stuff like that, because I feel that we're still kind of like talking about the exact same things, just to like a different degree or extent.
Yeah, I for me, a lot of looking at this media and then looking at the time, like, oh, and it sort of made me question to be like, why is this period so special to write about?
Yeah.
Or used as a setting? Which I do think that there are very clear reasons as to why. But it seems like a lot of these things where it's like a time of mass and rapid innovation.
Yeah.
A very much changing world.
Mm-hmm.
Societal and class struggles. Hypocrisy and duality amongst different social stratas.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that feels like now.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, that very much feels like now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think like when you look at Victorian era from the outside, like at least like I felt this way, like I'm like, this is gonna suck, this is gonna be super boring, like why do we always talk about it, like why is it always a thing? But part of the appreciation, which this aspect is highlighted better within me on this episode than the last episode. But yeah, not even gonna talk about that. But no, when I actually started diving into things, looking into things, as Lewis had just said, like those things started becoming very evident in a very like it's interesting to see the different cycles, especially within like society and the world that we kind of like get stuck in, or just gets like brought back every once in a while, like where it's like, okay, this is like what we're going to be talking about. These are the issues that we're dealing with. I think it's interesting as well, like the differences between America and the society that we've had, and then even around like the exact same time compared to like Britain and England, because with their urbanization of like taking these agricultural places and then making it like a city, like we were very focused on, we have key cities and then we have like a lot of this expansive land that we've stolen that we're going to make into agriculture.
Yeah.
So I thought like it's kind of interesting because I was taking a class not too long ago about literally like this time period, but for American history, and then seeing like the differences and seeing some of the similarities, and the departure was very interesting to study. I think coming from like our American background and stuff like that, especially like just Americans in general, when you study other cultures and societies and countries, you'll see like their history is actual history that dates back a very, very, very long time ago, where they were still like very up and running, and they're like getting to the bag. Like most of the things that we have in America, or the upgrades that Americans made, were made through the lives and people that left England and Britain, or just like the concepts. Like the steam engine was such a big thing here.
Yeah, this country is a country of, immigration and immigrants. It's a melting pot.
Yeah, we are.
So many different things. I'm trying to think of how to wax more philosophically about this, but there's so many different innovations have come from that, and then not to go into huge, because I can rant about history.
Yeah. Don't put him to sleep.
I am my dad's father. I am my dad's son.
Yeah. You're your dad's father. Is this
my
Back to
dad's
the Future?
Father. I'm my grandpa. Happy birthday, Grandpa. It was his birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday, grandfather. Waters?
Yep.
Dude, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Didn't
mean to dox you there, but yeah.
I mean, people know.
Yeah, I know.
There's just so many different things that have like come about, and it's so interesting to look at, and especially for American history. The very interesting thing is that for American history, in terms of a global sense, there's really one big turning point, and it's World War II.
Oh yeah.
The moment, like, and so much of history is so interesting and different, because it's like, oh, the moment World War II happened, that's sort of when like everything. Well, I mean, World War I started, and there are obviously very many other times.
Yeah.
But that's when stuff kind of got global, where it's like, oh. But I think you touched a little bit on your initial feelings of going into this.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
I was like, I'm going to touch on mine real quick, because
I
have a small bit of a confession to make, if it's not already a bit obvious by the way I
Lady
speak.
Whistle down.
Yes, if it's not already a little bit obvious. My family is slightly aristocratic in some sense,
Oh.
I come, not that I'm born of wealth.
Oh.
By no means. But my mom was an etiquette teacher. So I grew up, and she would go to high tea where me and my brother were not invited, because it was only for the girls and the ladies.
Yeah, yeah.
And my dad, his favorite history obsession outside of everything else that he does with like American history and Black history and the North Carolinian Southern history, Appalachian history, is like The Crown.
That's funny.
That's like his other sort of like little obsession on the side.
Wow.
So when I started going into this, I was like, I don't like this, because I don't like, I like action. I don't like these slow and plotting paces about romance. And then about 2 episodes into Bridgerton, I was like, oh, I am already like this in a sense.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, do I come from a... Not necessarily like, do I come from a bougie family? Oh, I do. Yeah. It's not just my mom. We like to joke and call my mom bougie all the time.
Yeah.
She is. But, I think all of us are.
Mama Waters?
So yeah, I was like, I have a little bit of a predisposition to this. Of like, oh,
Were you in, my question? Were you ever in what is it, cotillion?
no.
Okay, I was going to like I would hunt down every member of your family and then like beg them for days if I needed to get like cotillion photos of you.
Oh yeah,
I would be
I mean,
crying.
I have learned like how to do, not in any sort of form. My mom just taught me on her own of like for me and my brother on how to do like
Yeah,
specific ballroom dances and how to set tables properly.
that's
what
funny.
spoon is for what.
Yeah.
We don't ever remember.
Yeah, no. What I guess like a little bit of like tie in from like my background to England and Victorian era. So where I get my surname? I get my surname from Hutchinson. They immigrated during the beginning half of the Victorian era from England to America. They were woodworkers in one of like the urbanization areas. Yeah, they were just like always cutting trees and they're like, you know what, I'm tired of that. So then they came here, settled in Ohio, and then presumably was doing the exact same thing of just cutting trees down. And you're like, all right, but hey, it's funny. Like both stories are like, or at least like what I know of the majority of my family that I care to like do the research in. They were. It seems like they left what they were doing in a very specific like region, like where they left in Austria. When they came to America, they were just doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all were literally like, I'm ready for a new life and a new opportunity, and then came here and just did the exact same thing.
Yep.
It's like, I work at McDonald's in North Carolina. You know what? I need a change of pace. I need a change of life. So you move to like Texas, and then you're like, I'm working at McDonald's again.
It's like I'm working at Whataburger now. A little bit different.
It's like, what really changed here?
But it's like, all right, well, I guess new scenery. There's some new opportunities around. But.
Yeah, nothing is like set in stone. You didn't like want to try it or anything else. Yeah,
Yes.
No, it's funny. One thing that I found that was like super interesting about the Victorian era that just like there's a lot of jokes, but I think it's also like a really cool thing in history because I do feel like, especially after you're saying like World War II, America has kind of like had this big moment of this. The UK population doubled between 1801 and 1871.
Oh, that is wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Yeah, especially like when you think about like the different, I guess like moral issues, but with a lot of people, because it seems like past like dramatization and romanticization, a majority of the people were not always high class, and high class that's like where they had the expectations of being like, you must court your lady, you must have a dance card present, but it seems like anyone under them was just like, throw it out the window, we're just gonna get it on. And
like, hey, meets girl, hey,
yeah,
what's up, yeah, you want to get like married or something?
like, ooh, yes, I've been waiting for someone to take my hand. I'm only 17.
They're just like, ooh.
No, like
Drake.
Not only 17. They're like, I'm 17 and I haven't been courted yet. Like I don't know, man. Like it just seems like, I know most of the actresses are older than what they appear in Bridgerton, but I'm just like, this feels icky.
Well,
here's
here's the thing. I was watching it first and I was like, how old are some of them actually?
Yeah.
And at least some of them I was like, okay, that's fine.
Like Eloise is like 30, I think.
No, Eloise isn't 30.
No, not the character, but like the actress.
Oh yeah,
is
the
like,
actress.
Yeah.
But like at least in like the show, Daphne I think is 21.
Yeah, which I don't know. That also was
which is like weird because it's like her first season, but like at the same time, it's like, okay, I looked it up and they were like 21. I'm like, okay, this is what the wiki says.
Yeah.
This is what the Bridgerton wiki says.
Yeah, I'm like, it felt so
I'm going to go with that, especially when the Duke of Hastings shows up and it's like, he has a beard.
Yeah, this dude would definitely have a job.
He's like,
he's a man.
My age at least.
Dude, at least. I would even say a little
at
bit
the
older,
least, he's
bro.
probably like 29.
Oh, yeah, 28, 29. I'm like, dude, this guy, no way, man. Like, this is icky. But at the same time,
I mean, he'd have to be because, like,
yeah,
he went to school with Anthony.
Oh, yeah, they were like
Anthony's
best friends.
Is much older than Daphne.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. Okay, so I kind of already touched on urbanization. Division of labor became more important, and women were often excluded from certain jobs, which also brings an interesting point. I don't think I don't think we would be able to survive going back to the Victorian era, like working their jobs, like no unions, like 12 hours a day, like you're working in between like your breaks and everything like that, and your breaks are like 15 minutes, so like you're still like cleaning your station of like machinery and being around all of these things. I'm like, we're not built for that.
The amount of like soot and asbestos and everything else that would go into my lungs would kill me within 3 weeks.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I'd just be on the job and then just like here's the thing, we like to go in the past and be like, what were they doing? They aren't as cool as us. But I'm like, those guys had to be built tough back then.
Dude, yeah.
They had to be built tough. I'm like, hey, we get the modern luxuries, maybe we're working a little bit smarter, not harder now, but they were working hard.
Child labor too. I'm like, oh, it makes sense as like why there'd be like 12-year-olds just like getting drunk all the time. I'm like, man, I'd be drowning in a bottle if I had to like work that job and stuff like that. I'm like, man, it's not a lot of leeway there. So there was a lot of power shifting, like the balance of that shifted from aristocracy. Thank you, to the newly rich business leaders. Just like with acquisition. Dude, I really just need a nap. Acquisition. I need a nap.
I know.
Acquisition of it's okay. I'm running on low, but yeah. So whenever like urbanization would come, like it wasn't too much of a this guy has pull because of his family. Now it's like no, okay, this guy has pull because he's turning this entire area into like something. Like he's actually making it like something's happening over here. Something's going cool.
It's those easier ways to. Again, by no means is it easy, but it sort of opened up the ways of that. This is how you can jump to a new social class. It's not necessarily through having the family or that. It's like if you somehow made the business connection or you made the business move to jump, then you can be there now,
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, so pretty much like I know this episode's going to be a little bit shorter just because I feel like the urbanization and we have like some good talking points, but
let's do the one thing. We got to talk about at least the one show that we both watched together.
Okay. Yeah.
What'd you think of Bridgerton?
I was actually about that. That's like where my whole like little speech was going towards because I'm like kind of just run through it. But okay, so
this is gonna be the Bridgerton review part of the episode.
Yeah, it's gonna be hopefully not too.
We're not gonna put up a graphic for it because that's too much work.
No, I'm not doing it.
And I'm not making you do that.
No, I appreciate
Bridgerton review.
Bridgerton review. I could do that. That I could do like animating stuff, but I feel like okay, but what I did, there was a lot of like small things that I liked like within the show. Side story, like it's an interesting switch in between like different characters, but still having like some like common things, like the whole Lady Whistle Down event. I liked how I noticed it like in the beginning because they did the Girls Like You on orchestra, and like I was like, I didn't immediately pick that up. I'm like, why does this sound so much different? And then I like typed it up on Spotify and I saw like, no, it wasn't even that. I turned on my subtitles. And it was like Girls Like You playing like by orchestra rendition. I'm like, I'm like, I think that's kind of cool. Like it was a good twist. It makes me also that's gonna be a question I have later. Is gonna be kind of like, what would yours be, or like what would you want to hear? I liked when I put it in here. W interracial couples. That
was for me one of the cool things of like it's not even like all the obviously interracial couple. I'm down for it, but I think it's the fact that like race isn't really touched on as much of an issue. Like it's not really just touched on all. Like everyone's just around.
Yeah, they're like, and
they're all just there.
Well, except for like when the Queen, because like when the Duke of Hastings was talking.
Oh yeah,
and she's like, you got to respect this woman because she made people like us respect.
And that's like really all they ever touch on it. Yeah, and it's like okay, and Here's the thing. I think in some ways, like, obviously I could see somebody be like, they need to talk about it more, but it's like, I don't think it's necessary for the plot of what's going on. I think it's completely fine as to, like, just that and everything's just sort of existing, because it makes it more of a fun world to be around, where it's like, not everyone is just very white and pale.
Exactly.
Because of the horrible British weather.
Dude, no, the London gray fog. No, it's also super interesting because it's like a culture different from us. Not saying like it's just like what their takes and like their plights are like are vastly different from America. So like I would read like certain articles about that without like quoting like different events or like different ways of like how people were thinking about race like back in this time within England. I'm like, you're American writing this. I'm like, it's a whole different perspective compared to, I mean, they could definitely still have had similar things to us, but it's like if I was, in Japan, I'm like, their animated shows are a lot different from our, animated shows. Like, why is this not happening? It's like, I mean, it's a different area.
Just different values and stuff too. Different ways of storytelling.
For sure. But yeah, I mean, like, I liked it. I got enough into, like, obviously, like, I started appreciating it. Honestly, past, like, the first episode, because at first I'm like, I'm really watching Bridgerton. I'm like, my sister and my mom are going to love the fact that I'm doing this, but I don't know how I feel. And then I was like, okay, I'm hooked into this.
Let's also put the other thing. I feel like, for both of us, it was interesting how quickly got into it. Once I was into it, and I didn't talk to you yet, I was like, I could see that Zach would be into this because of how much romance anime you watch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, he's already here. You
just doxed me right in the casually doxed
me. You're acting like this is a secret.
It's
really not.
Lady Whistledown over here.
You're acting like this is some sort of secret.
No, it's not a secret.
It's really not.
It's really not. It's really not.
Nothing wrong with that.
No,
you just like
no.
romance.
Yeah, no, I think I just like casually tease it, but yeah. Like every like post on, the method's just gonna get out now. Like most of my posts on Instagram, like where I'll have like an anime panel.
Yeah.
At the end of it, it's always from something like that.
Yep.
Where I'm like, just like, this looks dope. I'm gonna put that in there.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like anything that I like is necessarily a secret. I just don't post really much of it.
Yeah, no, dude.
If you're around me, then you'll be like, oh, he likes this.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're around him. It's like, oh, he has an obsession with Gundam. Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really good. Very romanticized, but still a good show.
Oh yeah, I again, very good pacing. So like for anyone who hasn't watched this show and you've heard things about it and you're like, I don't. It's not as much of a period piece as you would think. Mm-hmm. It's also like it has some sort of sitcomish elements. It's very well written, funny at times, good pacing.
Yeah.
Really good acting.
Great drama too. Really
great drama.
Yeah.
It's just very good. I'll say out of all of them, season 1 is the best one.
Yeah.
But like season 2 is not bad.
No.
It's just not the same.
Yeah.
Also understanding that like I don't spoiler alert. Don't edit anything.
Okay.
No editing. Just spoiler alert. Once a season ends, if it's focused on specific characters, they don't really come back into play.
Yeah.
Because they're based on books, and each season is based on a different book. And that's just what happens in the books.
Yeah.
Like, they just don't.
It's just a whole different,
like,
Bridgerton,
narrative. It's just based off of the entire family. It's not just Daphne.
Yeah.
No,
what I will say that I thought was, like, a pretty funny note of this, like, the sex scenes of this show would just they'd be really graphic, but then it's like 10 seconds long and you're like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, here's the of all the stuff recently that had I don't know if we talked about it in the last episode.
Oh,
Joker.
No, we didn't, bro. We were meant to talk about it too.
I would take this over that.
No,
anytime. I don't need that.
No, that was gross.
I don't need,
Yeah.
I don't need to see Joker sex scene, dude. It's weird.
Yeah.
this was fine.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a lot. They kind of just would like skip over it. It would just start with them like kissing, and then you'd be like, oh, passion. And then they would be like, skips to the end where they're like already just like,
yeah, like, I'm done.
it's like, I'm done. All right.
I have arrived, my dear.
How'd you enjoy it?
Yeah, no. Okay, so yeah, I went and did some different views of media, different like painting photographers, paintings. John Everett Millis, he's a good one. Ford Maddox Brown, then Dante Gabriel Rossetti.
Mm-hmm.
All of them have some very, very unique art that I feel speaks very true to like what Victorian era was. I mean, you can kind of see them right now. I'm not gonna say them all just because like they're great, but
yeah,
just look them up. Honestly, at this point, like just go view them, go appreciate them. Maybe I'll make a post about it, being like, "Oh, that's Victorian era."
Yeah,
but no. To view more artistic media, check out the art from the pre-Raphaelite art movement. That's kind of like where this one hails heavily from, like around the Victorian era. Most of that is what you think of when you're like Victorian era paintings.
Yeah.
Pre-Raphaelite art movement.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So it's also interesting because again we went about this in two different ways. So then I looked into more. So one piece of media from the time period itself. But just sort of about different things so that I can sort of see the variety of things that you can write about with this.
For sure.
So I read, meaning I listened to an audiobook, Great Expectations by Charles Dickens.
Yeah. Okay.
Great book.
Yes. Yeah.
And so you sort of get the idea of that sort of like social class struggle element that was involved.
Yeah.
And then another interesting thing of the so much that was going on, of looking at another piece of sort of fictional media that's Victorian centered. Mm-hmm. I went back and looked and played a little bit of Bloodborne again.
Oh my gosh.
Realizing I was like, wait a sec.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is Victorian.
That's
It's,
funny.
very crazy, but like it's based off of that.
That's so funny,
Obviously
bro.
Very exaggerated, but I'm like, oh, okay.
Those battles were crazy. Like when you finally like break into the light and then you're like kind of like walking around and you have to go up like that the like little building and dive over dude, I kept falling down the dive thing and there'd be like that weird golem dude who just smacked me.
I'm so spoiled by like Elden Ring now, going back and playing Bloodborne, which is good. It's just I can jump in Elden Ring.
Yes, yeah.
I can't jump in Bloodborne.
No. I have my questions and a little game I would like to do. I'll probably do the game first, but before we get to that,
I got some questions too. But you shoot first.
Okay.
You were cooking some heat. You were telling me.
I was cooking some heat.
I'm excited.
Welcome. Graphic starts now. Scenario: crafting your Victorian life with a $15 budget.
All right.
Shout out to the FRDI show. I don't really know how to say, y'all. I know that this is something that's been a meme since we were kids. It's been on multiple channels, but thank you for the inspiration. Yeah. We're never going to directly copy off someone and then not appreciate them.
We're not going to bite people's flow.
Yeah, we're the appreciation podcast. We appreciate the inspo. The fact that I did all of that, okay, well, I'm just going to edit that out. If you guys are here, you're on the ground floor with me because I'm going to punch myself in the teeth right now.
We're fine.
Yeah, we're fine. All right.
You're fine.
No, yeah, I just clip value. Let's redo that. All right. Crafting your Victorian life with a $15 budget. Stop it.
All right.
So we're going to go personal development and skills.
All right.
$5, you have cultural sophistication.
Yep.
$4, you have higher education.
All right.
$3, you have artistic talent.
Okay.
$2, you have trade school.
Okay.
And for $1, you have basic literacy. Is there anything you want me to explain to you?
No. I'm gonna switch up. I'm gonna go artistic talent. $3.
Okay, so you'll develop a talent for something like painting music.
Yeah.
Or writing.
I'm gonna do fashion.
Okay, you'll be a fashion. It could bring you fame and opportunities, but it's not always as lucrative at first. You got to do a lot of grinding.
Yeah.
So now you are at 12 buckaroonies.
$12.
Nice. Okay, now we have career and wealth.
All right.
And you have artistic talent, so
Okay.
just take that into consideration with what you choose here. $5, you could be a noble and aristocrat. $4, a merchant. $3, a laborer. $2, an apprentice, or $1, street vendor.
I'm gonna go $4. $4. I'm gonna have my own shop.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm gonna have a haberdashery.
yeah. Zachary's haberdashery.
I'm gonna be man, oh man, why am I forgetting the name of the guy? Why am I forgetting the name? Dapper Dan, bro.
Dapper Dan, yeah.
I'm gonna be Dapper Dan. I'm gonna have the stuff off the truck, you know?
I almost called. I knew that it was. Yeah, I knew it was Dan. I was gonna totally butcher that. Nice. Okay, so then we are in living conditions and social status. You have your own fashion shop.
All right.
You got $8 left to spend.
Okay.
Here's what you got. $5, grand manor.
Okay.
$4, comfortable flat.
Okay.
Yeah. $3, a back alley shack. $2, rent a tiny room. Or $1, shared room in a boarding house. So you're just living in like a tiny room with people.
All right. Why does the shack sound worse than the the shack sounds worse than 2 and 1?
Probably just, I think it's a little bit better because of the solitude
I guess you
aspect.
have more space.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, you get back alley shack.
Back alley shack, baby. Well, that's the slums, you know?
I guess so. I'll take that. I'll take back alley shack.
Are you going to go back alley shack? All right.
Yeah.
Well, then for...
That sounds like a weird move. That sounds like a weird, like, rated R move.
Well, here's the best one.
That sounds like what Shaquille O'Neal does to, like, Kevin Hart on a regular basis whenever they're around each other. The back alley shack. No Diddy.
Here's the best one. We have romance and influence.
Okay.
And you have the whole $5 left to spend.
Oh, this last awesome.
Yes. So you get your own choice here, but I want you to recap all that you have before you make your decision.
Okay.
So take a little time to ruminate on
Yeah.
it. $5, you'll have a royal marriage.
Okay.
So you could marry someone that's a royal.
Yeah.
$4, you be an elite match, someone above your social class who could take you.
So I
with
get
her.
the season's diamond.
Yes, you will.
Okay.
$3, you'd have a serious relationship. So it's someone that's around your social class. Rupert is here for the romance too. $2, you'd have a casual courtship.
Okay.
A light romance with someone of similar status. So maybe just someone for the fun. You'll see how things turn out.
All right.
$1, no romance, and you're by yourself thugging it out.
All right.
Give me a recap. Give me your choice.
So I'm gonna be fashion man. I'm gonna have a haberdashery. Make cool clothes. I'll be in. No. So I'm not in high society. Nah, I just make clothes. In reality, for high society, I got my own little like shack that I'm living in. See, I got the whole 5, so I could just do 5.
Yeah.
But I don't really want the energy of having to do all the royal stuff.
Yeah.
I'd rather just do like adjacent to royal, like I get invited to this stuff, but I'm not like famous.
So like an elite match?
Yeah, like a Bridgerton. You know, like how the Bridgertons aren't famous. Like I would be like on that level. Like they aren't royalty.
Yeah.
But they're like pretty wealthy.
At least they have a man or two, though.
Yeah, and it's like I'll be $4, and I'll save that last dollar.
Yeah.
For the vending machine.
Boom.
Get myself a bottle of water.
You get yourself a bottle of water while you are running your haberdashery.
Yep.
Probably attached to your shack, maybe. Make it cool.
Yeah. My shack would be at the back, you know.
And while you're there and you spend that last dollar getting that bottle of water,
yep,
you run into your elite match.
Yep.
And she just comes in and revolutionizes. You'll have a haberdashery on every block of Victorian era.
Hey. I am Yes, I am Victorian Gucci. I am.
You did so well.
what are other fashion designers? I am Victorian.
Yves Saint Laurent.
Yeah. I'm that guy. I'm Victorian Steve McQueen.
Dude, you did amazing. I just want to let you know the very first scenario, I butchered the first part of it completely. Thank you guys for sticking around. But
I got the vision.
dude, you did so well. I'm very proud of you.
Can I do yours?
Yeah.
Well, let me do yours. So
you don't need to read them off as well.
Okay.
If you want to go to Docs, just to that's like where I was like
where you
keeping track of the money. Yeah, just go to the other tab.
Well, okay. Well, okay. We're starting you. So your personal development and skills.
Okay.
So you got $5, cultural sophistication. $4, higher education. He's in college.
Yeah.
$3, artistic talent. $2, trade school. $1, basic literacy.
I'm gonna go artistic talent, and I'm gonna use it for. I like visual and I like music, but I'm going to go for. I'm gonna be a painter.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. We're going. Okay. We're taking that sort of same idea.
Yeah. I also feel like it's not as elaborate as being like a painter now.
Yeah.
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 It's like it could be detailed, or you could just like here's the tree and some water.
Think about you could like. You're in Victorian era.
Yeah.
And like if you got brain that you have now, then you could be like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start making abstract art.
Yeah.
And then people are gonna be like, what? And then all of a sudden,
reference to
money.
Episode 3. Yeah.
And then you're gonna be rolling that money, and people are gonna be like, wow.
Lasting legacy.
Yeah.
Okay. So where am I at now? I'm at like $12.
You are at $12.
Sweet.
All right. So, career and wealth.
Mm-hmm.
You're an aristocrat.
Ooh.
A merchant. That's $4. $3, you're a laborer. $2, you're an apprentice. $1, you're a street vendor.
I'm going to choose. I'm gonna be a merchant. So what is that? $4.
So you're at $8. So we're taking the same path somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're both on the same idea.
It makes sense. I mean, we're like homies.
All right.
Similar, a little different, but similar. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna put all the art in your haberdasheries.
Okay. Yeah. So what? You got $8.
Yeah.
Okay. Living conditions, social status. $5, you got the grand manor. $4, the comfortable flat.
Yeah.
$3, you got the back alley shack.
Yeah.
$2, you rent a tiny room. And $1, shared room in a boarding house.
Give me a flat.
Okay.
This is where we're gonna differ.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's got himself a little apartment.
Yeah. I need my own like artistic space to hang up everything. A shack.
Okay.
A shack, I'm probably just going to be inhaling paint all the time.
Okay. Yeah. You didn't have to say that about my shack, but cool.
Hey, buddy, you're making clothes. It's a little different.
You know.
I need ventilation.
So, yeah. All right. I get it. So, that leaves you with $4 left. Yeah. All right. So,
I can't get the $5.
Off the table is sort of romance and influence. Off the table, no royal marriage. You're not marrying the princess.
Yeah.
Ooh, sorry, but you got an elite match. You got a serious relationship. Casual courtship.
Yeah.
$2. $1. No romance.
Dude, do I take no romance and get like 3 bottled waters? No, I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna marry someone who's gonna like help spread my my painting legacy around the world.
Okay.
So
you got yourself an elite match.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. So you spent all your money. You did better than me technically.
I guess
because you have a better spot.
Yeah.
So you did pretty good. You know.
Appreciate it.
You did good.
No, but the thing is that's different is I would say that you did better because you had no idea what I was gonna choose.
Yeah.
I
crafted the game. Yeah. I know how this works. I win.
Yeah. I was like. And we were kind of like living the exact same life. It's just like my spot is different, but maybe you could just move in with your elite match.
I mean, at the same time, like, you know, you could be like the artist from Bridgerton, where except not gay.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, I'm gonna just have parties all the time in my flat.
Yeah,
that could be you.
That would be me.
Where you're like, oh, I'm just partying all the time.
I'll be like, Lewis, you running that haberdashery? You're like,
yep.
Yeah, man, I'm running the haberdashery. I'd be like,
oh, you had
forget that. Come over. Let's get drunk.
Like, yeah, come through.
Yeah, I got brandy.
Hey, man, come through.
Yeah, okay.
I like that.
That was fun.
I want to plan.
We gotta do more of those.
Okay, depending on what topics we get next, we're planning more of these.
Yeah, that's fun.
All right.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah, let's
It's
trade
question
questions.
time. It's question time.
Yeah, it's question time.
So
We need a song for that.
let me hit you with this.
Yeah.
What things from Victorian society would you bring back into our modern society?
I don't know. Honestly, I would probably bring in
Child labor.
child labor.
Child.
Bring it back.
Get them to work now.
I would bring back I'd bring back the where they were having like balls, and because we had parties, but like when they were doing it, they were like really doing it up. Or
Yeah.
when they'd have like, oh, it's a brand new season, like all the families were gonna meet at the park and sit down and like kind of like conversate. I loved like how involved the families were in between other families. Like granted, there's something. There's usually something behind that would like push them to do it.
Yeah.
That would push them to be like, oh, our family's going to be together. But no, I think that's better because you run into the situation nowadays a lot, like where it's like, oh, my family does not like my significant other. Like, what do I do?
Yeah, you like just more of those like community like social events where it's like for the whole entire, like everyone's there.
Big facts.
Not just like, I'm going to a party. All right.
Yeah.
It's just me.
Yeah.
I see some of my friends and it's like, no, everyone's here and we're all dressed up fancy.
Yeah, we're having a good time. No one's like popping a queeb and dozing off in the middle of the party.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to just like trade questions like back and back?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll answer. So I think we talked about it last night. Mine is, as is my background, I'm big on etiquette.
Yeah.
I'd bring back that. Like just some of those I watched a video, I forget who it was by, of just all the like the reason why if you try to read up on like the social rules and like etiquette and specific manners from the Victorian era, it's so confusing because there's so much of it. Basically what would happen is one, like the publishing process was not nearly as fast as it is now.
Okay.
So what people would do is they're like, oh, well, people are buying these books on like manners and everything else. This book that I have from like 10 years ago,
Yeah.
I'm going to take my favorite ones out and add some new ones in. But it's been 10 years, so stuff's kind of changed. And then publish my own book that'll come out in like another 3 years. Where it's like, oh, and everyone's just kind of doing this, where it's just you're flooding the market with all this different etiquette, and it's like, it's incredibly confusing because at some point it's like you're just saying outdated things that don't really apply to anything anymore, of like the proper manners of what to do with your gloves.
Yeah.
And like, oh, and this
how
and
to
that.
hold them. Yeah.
Yes. And it's like,
Nah.
But I think, do a little bit with more manners, a little bit more etiquette.
For sure.
More than just like, you say hi to people and you open up the door for people.
Yeah.
A little bit more of like, this is how you engage with a certain person.
Yeah.
You have to. Oh, I think one of the big ones is like sending a calling card, which.
Oh, yeah.
Which if we had that for like text messages of being like, it's like just one extra step, but like, hey, I would like to plan a time for us to hang out. Yeah. And then being able to be like, let's like, give me some time to look at our options and then this. Yeah. Which is very formal. It feels like sometimes nowadays it's very awkward of like, hey, let's hang out. Oh, I'm kind of tired, dude. I don't really want to. What do I say?
Yeah. No.
What do I say?
No, that's excellent point.
Yeah. No, you know where it is.
Upstairs?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have some neighbors that I want to go give the people's elbow to.
Yeah, I might hit them with a rock bottom at some point, but
Yeah. I'm trying to pick like my favorite because I'm not going to ask all these questions. I put a lot down, but I'm like, I do not want to take too much time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. This is a good one. Because you could reference JoJo on this, but I just want you to like do whatever comes to your mind. Victorians.
Oh my goodness! Why didn't I remember? The first part of JoJo's is Victorian era.
Exactly. Victorians.
Phantom Blood.
Victorians love their elaborate portraits.
Yes.
We're not going on a JoJo's rant. If you were to sit for a Victorian style portrait, what would be your signature pose?
What would be my signature pose?
Yeah.
Who else is in my portrait?
It's
Is
literally just you.
It's just me.
It's gonna hang in your shack.
From what?
I'm painting it. What am I
level?
painting?
What like level?
You can do.
Is it full body?
You choose. What do you want me to paint for you, sir?
If it's full body,
Mm-hmm.
then and you can Photoshop it in. I want Randy Orton pose. I want that.
Just decked out the way that you are.
I mean, more like you're gonna add like more gold accents, like a lot of drip.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna look stupid.
He's gonna be sitting on the sidelines while I'm painting
But
it, like
yeah,
Doctor the Sin.
that, and then give me specifically that, but like 2005 Randy Orton entrance. I'll show you at some point where he would come out. It was before he went and became a psychopath. In like 2009, he would come out and he had the song "Burn in My Light," and then his fireworks was basically just like a shower of like. The way to put it is like golden fireworks just coming down like constantly, just raining down. So all it was just looked like light behind him. It's like that's what I would want for my portrait.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one.
But if not, then like if we're only doing like upper body, I don't want to be in like a chair, just like
Yeah.
or just like just looking serious.
Yeah. I would want mine to be like kind of awkward. Like I would just like want a portrait of me just like not even feeling like I'm there. Like I'm just like standing at like a bar table or something like that. Just like, or in the middle of a sneeze. That's what I want my portrait to be. Just me like, that would be great.
Yours would be you mewing, dude.
My full body would be me in the middle of a sneeze. So you see like my whole body convulse, but then right beside it would be like this doctored up me just like mewing, getting all the honeys back then.
All right.
Okay, yeah. Do you have a question? What time are we at? All right, we're at like an hour.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty.
We're doing good.
We're doing pretty good, you know.
Yeah, I'll probably ask like one or two more.
I'll ask two more.
Okay.
All right. So one, it's a little bit of two-parter. So how do you feel about these sort of like common use settings? Like the Victorian era being a setting for a lot of stories.
Yeah, or like high school, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So how do you feel about it? And then two, what are your favorite and least favorite of these like common use settings?
Okay. Yeah, I think it's okay, mainly because like, we touched on a little bit. I'm not gonna say too much. Like with like the last episode, we touched on like common experiences is usually a good way for people to make money or to like have something like well received. My least, so like I'm cool with it. I'm not like granted, I think like doing something like crazy does make it or like unheard of has recent years makes it a lot better. Not even like too recent, like Star Wars, like
it's like it's something that's like it's a different thing than what you've seen,
and it goes hard. I hate island movies so much. Like I do not enjoy that. Like where they're like abandoned on an island or something like that.
Oh, I don't know like a stranded island kind of like just okay.
I hate those movies. I'm like I don't know what it is about like my neurodiversity. It just makes me like want to fall asleep.
I'm
like
putting it on the list.
Like Peter Jackson's like I love the King Kong, but like up until he's like ripping the tongue out of the dinosaur, like I was like I'm going to fall asleep. Like okay, so like island, boats, like cruises, like the Titanic. It's like when you watch the Titanic, like you're like you know what's gonna happen at the end. So I feel like most of that. And I'm gonna give one last one. What is one of my least favorite tropes?
Well, so what are also some of your favorites?
My favorite, I guess like I don't know, like when I'm watching anime, like I'm cool like with the high school and like different like things like that kind of play. I like bigger city movies. Yeah, that I mean that's kind of it. Like I think it's just more or less I have strong feelings against like island movies or like castaway movies where I'm like Lost. Yeah. I could not watch Lost because like every 2 minutes I'm like, could someone knock me out because I'm this is boring me.
Okay. All right.
What about you?
So for me, I think I think I understand the advantage of having these like settings that are common to people, because then you don't have to take all this time explaining the rules of how everything works.
Yeah.
Like, obviously for me, I'm a big fan of One Piece, but not everything can have such an expansive world with all these different rules and cultures and everything like a One Piece. It can't be not everything can be a Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, if you want something to be a little bit more realistic, it needs to have something familiar for people to understand so that you don't have to waste not necessarily, you don't have to divert your focus explaining the world when you can just really flesh out your characters or the story and the plot. So I get the idea of it. Sometimes do I feel like people use it and it's a bit lazy? Obviously. Do I have any specific examples? Not right now. I will say, for me, it'll come up in one of my least favorite types. It's seen common anime. I'm not huge on the high school trope. I kind of get tired of it. One, being like, I haven't been in high school for so long, and I also just didn't really care about high school when I was in there. I cared about my friends, but I didn't really care about, like, who's popular in school. I don't care. I'm a grown man now.
Yeah.
And then just also, as the color of my skin, I don't like anything that's set during the Civil War.
Yeah.
However,
I was thinking place. That makes sense.
However, funnily enough, for me, like sort of my favorite settings for stories, I like stuff set in feudal Japan. I think it's because it's foreign to me. It's interesting. I feel like there's just a lot there that's very different from what you can get with like American storytelling.
Yeah.
I also like sort of like cyberpunk dystopias, like in the future and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's a great
like
answer.
those large, like scoping, almost like cities.
Yeah.
Like, you get like I forget what the city is in Blade Runner, or you get like, or in Cyberpunk, or you get like even Star Wars, Coruscant.
Yeah.
Like Coruscant's one of those. And then the last one, it's a very large scope, but I think you can get sort of the ideas. I like the like mid 20th century stories. So like anything that can range from like a 1920s, like a Great Gatsby.
Oh, okay, yeah.
To like, I mean, my favorite book is The Outsiders.
Yeah.
Which is set in the 1950s.
Yeah.
I love it, which you would think, oh, this guy doesn't like the Civil War, but he's cool with the 1950s. There's different things going on here. It's different things. Obviously not a great time for me.
Yeah.
But I still enjoy the like stories set during that time period.
Bro,
I think just culture was in a fascinating place.
I have a real quick. Honestly, I think I'm only gonna ask one other question because these other ones, it's like they're all right, but no, one of them I actually care for. But
Okay.
Other than that, dude, I remember it's funny that you say Great Gatsby. So yesterday, we were at Barnes and Nobles with our friend Mad Creates.
Yep.
And I go and grab a Starbucks, right? So as I'm waiting for my coffee, because I'm tired, I'm always tired. It's just a personality trait of me. I'm standing, and Lewis saw these kids because they were like around the manga, and we're like talking about, I forgot what Komi Can Communicate. But anyway, so I'm waiting in Starbucks, and this one kid, like, they're like 13, 14, having the gall to be like, Great Gatsby is like the worst movie. Like,
what?
Yeah, he was like talking about society around the time.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm glad I wasn't around for that.
I started laughing because like I know these types of people, because when they grow up, they're going to be the exact same type of people that nowadays I get away from, because I'm like, you're going to have some choice views, and I can tell you what they are. I can tell you, as like, you're 14, I can already tell you what your life is going to be like in like 6 years. I'm already going to tell you what you're going to be thinking about, because like he just was running his mouth about Gatsby.
He probably got forced to read it in school. It's probably what happened to him.
Bro,
here's the thing.
It's fair, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, y'all are like 14, 15, and I'm telling you guys, they spent like an hour of their time, because we were in there for a hot minute, and they were with us
they
like
were
the
talking
entire.
about it that much?
Yes, dude.
Wow,
bro. At Barnes and Noble, bro. Like when I was at Barnes and Noble at 1450, bro, I was like sitting on the windowsill, just like charging my phone or something like that. That's why I'm like, Nah, dude, they were really into it.
I was looking at sports magazines when I was like there. I was looking at like WWE magazine when it was still around.
I was looking for like the Sport Illustrated Kate Upton, like at the time, bro. That was what Zach was on.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah. Where is it?
I need this. No, but dude, I just had to bring that up to conversation because that's just too good. But my last question.
Well, I'm glad I wasn't around for that.
No, okay. You're at a ball.
Okay.
You have your grand entrance.
Yes.
In your grand entrance, what I want to ask is from Bridgerton, where they're doing like "Girls Like You," but it's all just orchestra. What is your orchestral entrance song? Go. Give me it.
I want to walk in. This is going to be such a cliche answer, but I kind of want it to just be like, everything stops, attention's on me.
Yeah.
I want to walk in and immediately the stinger of dun 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 dun, just that hits from Not Like Us.
Oh my gosh.
Just
that's a good one.
Just doors open and it just go dun 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 dun. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I would want.
I think "Hey Now" would be a good one as well.
Now. Hey now.
No, not that.
Not that one?
No. Hey
Which
Now.
one?
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My answer would I want Mr. Brightside because
Coming out of my cave.
Yeah.
I was doing just fine.
like the guitar, but like it's
'Cause I
a
want it
violin
all.
or a piano instead because like you can still like piano and guitar like their notes like you can replicate
I was
them.
gonna say because like isn't technically piano
A string instrument. Yeah.
It's like it can play in.
I want a grand piano just doing
Nice.
that.
I'm down with that.
Dude, that would be so hard, but I feel like that's just like a huge part of my character is Mr. Brightside.
Yeah, which is hilarious. So
Yeah.
little funny side story. Somehow my brother does not like the song Mr. Brightside, and I'm like, how do you not like Mr. Brightside? It's Mr. Brightside.
He would love my rendition of it.
I was like, dude,
meme
it's
one.
Mr. Brightside. It's so good. It's the Killers.
Dude, yeah, no, the Killers had it in a chokehold. Do you have one more question or two more questions?
I have one more question for you.
Hit me with
I
it.
think it's good to wrap it up.
Okay. I love that.
So, with everything that we've been able to learn as a sort of conclusion, obviously I feel like we both been able to find some appreciation in it.
Yeah.
But what do you feel like is the strongest, what makes this period so special in terms of history and then also in terms of like use as like a literary tool? And like your thoughts, like what's the strongest aspect? What's that thing where you're like, for me, it's like that's what made it seem like, oh, this is special.
Like why I enjoyed the Victorian era.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a very interesting question for me because I'm just someone who always like views something as just it is what it is type of behavior. But I think what I enjoy most about it, I don't know, there's always like a veil. It just seems like it's so encapsulated in its own thing. Like it can be creepy or it can be cool. I think honestly the fashion, because like I feel like you just look at it and you're like, okay, I know like where we're at. I know like where we're going with it. I'm like, that's like what made it the most impactful, I guess, to say. But yeah, no, I feel like that's kind of lackluster, but now it's just, like when you think about it, like, we're all humans. If we were wearing our normal clothes, we would be doing the exact same episode. But the fact that like we always dress up for every theme makes it like kind of cool and impactful and powerful. It kind of like capsulizes like whatever we're doing. So that's my takeaway. What about you?
Hilarious because I was like, for me, I think the coolest part and the most special part is the aesthetic. It's like the fashion of it. It's because it's kind of cool. Like I see a Bloodborne coat and I'm like, I kind of want that.
I want the hat.
I want the hat.
Yeah.
Man, I want.
Give me that gun and the saw.
I know it's a little bit before, but it's like, man, give me that Castlevania drip.
Yeah.
Woo! I'm be looking good.
Dreamy like
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
For me, because because there's just so much to it.
Yeah.
I like how versatile it is because there's just so much going on, and I guess during the time they're writing about it so much where you can have stuff of like, oh, well, who's going to what balls, and is this person going to get married? And then it's like, oh yeah, we got a murder on the streets who's cutting out people's organs.
Yeah.
And he might be a doctor, I don't know.
Yeah, like yeah,
just so many different things, and it's like, oh yeah, people in Ireland are leaving and because they're dying.
Yeah, potato famine. Yeah,
because there's no potatoes.
Dude, yeah. That's yeah, no, I'm not gonna say that's hilarious right after that, but I just like how we both had the little takeaway.
Yeah, but the drip
though,
the drip, they had that shit on though.
They put it on, put that shit on.
I'm wearing it, bro.
Yeah. So I just want to bring this up as we're about to close. Again, thank you guys for listening, staying tuned. If you're watching this in the future, because I feel like that's where most of our views are going to come from. We did the Joker episode, came out a couple days ago from where we're when we release this, it'll be a couple days ago. And then we did a poll on that one for Dragon Ball. We're gonna do another poll now.
And that will be episode, because this is 7.
Yeah, so it'd be episode 9.
This will be episode 9. My favorite number.
Yeah, me too.
Our favorite number.
Our favorite number.
The favorite number of the podcast is 9.
Yeah.
All right, let me see if I can get that screen recording going. So you got any ideas?
I'm
what you
hoping
might want this to be.
I want 2B movies so bad. Or give me like some more anime. Let's just roll it into like a 3-hour episode with Dragon. No, I'm not gonna do that. It didn't need to be separate. But
let's give it a spin.
What do you want?
Let's see. I don't know yet.
Did you record?
Oh yeah, I'm recording it.
Cool.
Oh, and it's my choice. It's my choice.
Ooh.
Oh.
Are you gonna choose some from the list, or are you gonna do?
I'm choosing something from the list, but it's like, do I want to be like, we're doing the political to you? No, I think I'm gonna go with.
I'm gonna hide my reaction for you.
Nope. I know what we're gonna do.
All right.
Put it there, brother. I'm tagging you in. We're doing pro wrestling.
Oh god.
Yes.
I had a feeling. I'm like, it's either gonna be political compass or pro wrestling.
We're doing pro wrestling.
Bet.
I want the tease of 2B movies to be like forever.
Yeah. Until I get it's. I'm gonna be fighting for it, and I'm gonna be like, either give me 2B movies or my choice. All right.
Yep.
Bet. So this is, dude. Honestly, these next 2 episodes are gonna be your fucking like
my bread and butter
moment.
like Dragon Ball and pro wrestling.
Yeah, these are both things where I'm like, I like it, I just need to like,
but that means
actually grow into it.
Also, this is gonna be the other thing. This means you will have to you'll have to talk less, because I'll be running my mouth so much about these 2 things.
No, I'm gonna have to interject.
Yeah,
so it's not
you're gonna need
Lewis,
to be
you're
like,
talking too much.
You're gonna be like, this is not TED Talk.
Yeah,
this is a podcast.
Yeah,
we have conversations.
I'm like, we just need to find appreciation. You love it.
Yep.
We need to tell people why they should love it, or why
comes into the episode. Yeah. So pro wrestling's the greatest thing ever made.
Yeah.
Everyone should watch it.
I'll be like, need to put some Zach favorites on there now.
All we need is Roman Reigns and Roman Reigns and Roman Reigns. That's it.
Yeah. We need yeah. Oh my. I need to put some of my favorite things in here, because I'm like, I did not interject like anything on the list like where I'm like, I like this. Now I'm like, okay, a lot of this is Lewis's favorites.
No,
and then it'll be like,
this is not all my favorites. There's stuff on there that you have too.
What?
We just haven't gotten there. Like romance anime, I'm pretty sure is on here. Gacha games is on here.
I've not played Gacha. Okay, I get it. But none of those are like my favorite things. Those are just things I know of.
Then put them on the list.
I will.
Because it might not be my favorite thing.
We're going to get boba tea. No, we're going to get Thai tea. Thai tea.
You said boba. I was like, I don't know.
I don't like tapioca balls.
Neither do I.
Nah, but dude, I'm excited.
Yeah.
This is going to be a very
good time.
Yes.
Elimination Chamber's coming up.
I'm going to be so like zacked out after this. I'm going to be like, Lewis, before we have any conversations again, you got to give me like 3 days of just nothing but silence.
Oh, I'm going to load the wheel. And you're just going to look at it next time. You're going to be like, why are there 9 different Zach's choices?
I'll be like, no, it's gonna have like one Lewis choice, and like all of it's gonna be Zach's choice, and it's still gonna land on Lewis' choice. It's gonna be like
NASCAR.
Dude,
Be like, I don't even like NASCAR.
that's good. Did it? No. Okay, yeah, we'll still keep like. I had to think about it because like whenever like we do another spin, like you go and like take out one, I'm like leave the Lewis's choice.
Oh yeah, we leave those in there.
Yeah.
But since we're getting 2 in a row, I won't tell you if I stack it or not.
All right, no worries.
I might stack it.
Nah,
Yeah.
I didn't do that. I'm going Tubi movies. I'm ending the bit. I'm like, I don't even care. I want to watch Tubi movies so bad.
I can't wait. We gotta see the guy curve the bullet,
dude. God, bro, the amount of like lore and everything that I feel like is coming into this episode or these next couple episodes is going to be very insane. Especially for me, like having to load up on it. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm gonna be living and breathing this for a minute.
we'll be all right.
Yeah, we'll be good. It's gonna be fun. They're gonna be good episodes.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised. I was like, I was kind of expecting something that we couldn't do. Like that's like what I was like. Oh, it's gonna land on like golf or something, but it's like about to snow in North Carolina. And it's like super cold. So
Snow
like,
again. We're in the second winter now.
Ugh.
Then we'll get another fall, spring.
Yeah.
Then
we'll
it'll
go
be the
right
third winter.
Summer.
No, then it'll be the third winter, and then it'll be the pollinating.
Yeah, the pollinating. But no. Thank you guys. Remember to. Just hit the form, DM us, follow us on IG, like, share, favorite, comment, subscribe, blah, 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 all that.
Like, subscribe, smash that like button.
Smash that Noti gang. No, we're never gonna do that. I'll tell you that now.
We'll do that at some point.
No,
we gotta make up a fun. If we make up a fun like,
it's gonna be a sticker
posse name. Yeah. Then it'll be more fun to say.
AP boys, AP community. No, we're the AP boys. We need an AP community.
Specifically, me and you are the AP boys.
Yeah.
We'll call everyone they're the benefactors.
The benefactors.
People who are fans, yes, you're benefactors.
You're a benefactor.
Executive producer.
Executive producer. We did really good on the timing of this episode, but appreciate y'all for watching. Yes. I'm Zach.
I'm Lou.
And this is the outro. Peace. Yeah.
Fun.
That was great.
That's good. I feel like we got to cover like a lot.
Whoa. Yeah, we did. We got to do a lot. More than I thought. I thought it was going to be like 45.
At a certain point, I thought we were going to have like, we were going to be like, what are we talking about now?
Yeah, I thought so too, but we just didn't like run out.
No, we had that conversation. I was so tired before we started recording, and now I somehow have energy again.
I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Do. Yeah, Victorian Era.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye, guys. Sorry, that was the wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta get that LA night. Yeah.